So I was doing this meditation where you're supposed to feel the difference between being inside of your body and then outside of your body. I don't remember all the details. I just remember being inside of my body and feeling very stuck and claustrophobic, right? And so, like, obviously the antidote to that would be this amazing, exciting meditation that we're doing where we could actually leave our bodies and go fly. And the meditation was being hosted in Sedona. So it was like, yeah, just go fly around the desert, go through the cave walls, go into the caves, go into the rocks. And as I did it, I found myself being like, this is stupid. Like, what is the point of anything? Oh, why am I even flying? Who cares? What am I getting at it? Ooh, I'm in a rock. Ooh, right? And that's when I realized, like, I messed up. Like, something is not right within me. Why am I so apathetic to, like, ooh, you can fly and you do not even care. You're so over it. Why is the joy of life gone? Okay, well, I had to take that back. I know why the joy of life is gone. I came into life with the strategy of being a people pleaser to keep things safe for me. I absorb other people's emotions. I'll even absorb illness or, things around me that I don't even know are going on. So for me, it was safe to make sure that everyone around me was happy with me so that I wouldn't be the cause of, like, discomfort. And also just, being raised in 3D, we all have this. Your parents push you to achieve, and then you become, whether or not they mean it, like, you are the summation of your 3D successes, which I had none. And I won't even get into that, but so that kind of lined me up with being a great match for someone who wanted to manipulate, right? Because it just does. I was seeking validation outside of myself to feel comfortable and secure, and to give me an identity rather than, feel your own emotions and create comfortable barriers with other people. I was going about it all wrong, which, whatever, my parents didn't have the tools to give me, like, hey, we're extremely empathetic and we actually have our own bullshit that we're not going to put on you. We're going to pretend it's not happening and then you deal with it when it happens to you. So that's where we're at. That's where we're all at. So naturally, I lined up with someone who feels the need to manipulate and angle because they need things outside of themselves to feel whole. And usually that lines up with the whole narcissist, sociopath, psychopath narrative, right? So predominantly, I just felt most of my life like I was working very hard towards goals. First of all, when you work really hard at jobs for other people, you really don't get that far because that's how the whole system's set up anyways, and we all know that. You can work your whole life and have nothing to show for it. Plus also, and I'll put this up on a screen because, like, I really need to, there is this meme or quote, whatever you want to call it, that really just hit home with me because I just felt like everything I did got ruined because everything I had that was worth something to me had to be taken by the person that I was with. And therefore, when I'm out of my body, flying around, I feel like I've already done so much and it was all for nothing. What is the point of anything? And that's really where I found myself. And I'm going to put this up on the screen right now because this was the thing that really got me. Narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, they're looking for something outside of themselves to satiate themselves. They don't have that source of happiness within them. In fact, many of them don't even really have an identity outside of what they can get other people to think about them. So they need to get that from you. You are their life stream, their life support. You kind of like become them, but like the slave for their resources. Sort of like, how the Anunnaki made us to mine their gold. You become one of the human. So anyways, where am I going with this? Right. So manipulation has to be done in secret. It can't have too many eyes or the game's up, because not everything that's being told is the truth, right? And so the secrecy that's behind the manipulation is the worst part. So people can be suffering in these relationships for years, and what the sociopath does is they find out everything about you, what's important to you, what do you stand for, and at first they'll use that to appeal to you. Then they'll use it against you to get what they want, okay? And oftentimes you are being manipulated with fear, and that's what keeps you quiet for so long. And so what's so incredibly unfair when you come out of these relationships is that you've been tormented so long that when you finally get out, and are able to overcome the secrecy that was holding you down, you seem crazy, because you've been tormented for so long, and it's dysregulated your hormones, your entire endocrine system, your entire nervous system, your entire thought process has been overrun with fear. And that's, getting away is not the hardest part. The hardest part is after you get away, all the bodily symptoms and mental things that happen as you start to go through this process of falling apart and resurrecting yourself. So where to even begin? You've always been in fight or flight for whatever, 5, 10, 15, 30 years, you've been in fight or flight. So now your body knows it has time to repair and fix itself. Well, when you're in fight or flight, your whole skeletal system has been keeping you rigid and stiff so that you can run when you need to, which you should have done a long time ago, but hindsight's 20/20 and whatever, we can't, what's done is done, and there's no point going back and lamenting about it. And it doesn't really matter, because time is an illusion, and you needed, sometimes it's an amazing thing to have the long breath and to be able to keep up with something for so long. And that's usually what the empath has the ability to do. Oh, you're broken, let's see it through, let's get through our problems, blah, 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 blah. Let me break myself into a million pieces so that I can have to start all over again, which is actually, it's a good thing. Okay, it doesn't feel like it at all, because you feel crazy, you feel broken. The chronic pain starts to set in, right? Because your bones have been stiff for so long. Your tailbone will literally curl under for however long you were in this, because it's been helping you to get out and run. And so spine pain, neck pain, and a lot of that goes into the whole Alta Major chakra, which I've been studying a lot, because that's the plug-in to the way how you filter information. And so this narcissist, sociopath, psychopath, they know how to get into your brain as being like the loudest voice. So rather than bringing in like the natural divine energies that you would be interpreting as light through your own, system, you're bringing in someone else's voice into your body constantly. That's creating fear and anxiety. So you can have a lot of neck pain. It also, if fear was the thing that was being used to be controlled, then your kidneys go out, kidney pain, kidney infections, a lot of bladder issues. Also, your adrenals are going to be completely shot. So when your adrenals are shot, you're going to have a lower number, high blood pressure, and eventually that's going to back up. So all the pressures in your body go high, and that leads to kidney issues. And everything's connected, right? And so it's this whole process of having to start all over and going through massive amounts of pain and mental and emotional anguish to which the people around you had no idea, and you don't feel like there's anyone that you can really reach out to, because again, tactic for whoever was controlling you is usually like triangulation and getting people to look like you're crazy, and you already look like you're crazy, and just on and on and on, right? Okay, so with that, we need to start ascending. Okay, that's when the old you dies. Okay, because you realize it's time to put yourself back together and put yourself back in the driver's seat. And it's funny because I was listening to two separate people talk about resurrection. And as we ascend, we need to lose this idea of death as being like the ultimate final thing that we're all so scared of, because that's what the psychopathic media uses against us anyways, with like, you know, what came in 2020 and what the medical treatments could do to us. And again, we're giving all of our power away. I was listening to Drunvalo Melchizedek talk about Jesus's resurrection. And he was talking about as we ascend, as we get closer to the Earth's galactic core, as we are in this age of Aquarius, where we're able to bring in higher radiant energies that are going to raise our consciousness, okay? Like going into this golden age as we're rising up now. We're going to see that resurrection is no big deal, because really it's just walking into a higher dimension. And if you want to bring your body, you go into this quantum realm, you put it back together, and then you go forth. Now, I don't know how Jesus was able to come back down into the regular realm. He didn't really explain that. But in divine coincidence, then I was listening to R.J. Spina, who is someone who was, his body was so ill that it shut down, and his spine like actually broke upon itself due to infection within his body. And he was determined, because from a young age he knew how to leave his body, so he knew he wasn't his body, so he knew that he was going to be able to put his life back together. And he said the same thing. He said he went to this realm where you know that you are not the things you are aware of, you are the awareness. And in that space in between, you can find like this Etch-a-Sketch where you can start to rewrite, transform, transmute your body and put it back together how you want. And that's exactly what Melchizedek said that Jesus did. And going forward, I really think that we're going to have a chance. Like, if you want to bring your body with you up to the higher dimensions, you can. Why aren't more people doing this? Because I think that when you die, you go through this whole like life board thing, and you have a choice whether or not you want to go back before you actually die. But I don't think it's within a lot of people's life streams where they actually want to go back to the circumstances and continue living a 3D life. I think once they realize what's out there for them in the next step, they want to go and progress and do that. And unfortunately, right now, we're in such a dark, deep realm, which we're about to ascend out of, that we can no longer see people when they ascend. But that's going to change, and that's going to change with you. I think that we are encountering all these sorts of relationships personally because we need to take them on the larger stage, take our power back, stop arguing with the medical establishment for health treatments. You've got them, okay? They've always been with you. Start stepping into the true power and the true unity that you have with the ultimate awareness, the ultimate unity, the one reality, and start interpreting it in this Etch-a-Sketch reality the way that you want to. I think that's all I had to say today.